His team can cut it. Right, let's leave it. He's going to hate talking pound away.
Search O2 Simone. O2, more for you. More beautiful settings for the antiques crowd here on ITV. Now it's time for Masterpiece with Alan Titchmarsh.
Mr. Kipling sponsors exceedingly good everyday favourites.
Hello and welcome to Masterpiece. Taking place at one of Britain's finest stately homes. Stupendous, isn't it? And back at Masterpiece HQ, 3 very different antiques challenges will be faced by our teams. Do you know your staff? They're competing to be first through the door of the Masterpiece Gallery. Laid out in this room are 9 collectibles, but only 3 of them are so exquisitely crafted or incredibly rare that they're worth at least £10,000. If they're to win today's show, our teams must use all their skills to reject the decoys and find the masterpieces. Competing to win today's £1,000 prize are a married couple from Bournemouth, Ray, a travel agent, and Ken, a sales assistant. Mother and son from Derby, Teresa, an hotel accountant, and James, an entertainer. And retired husband and wife from Bristol, Michelin and Kenneth. So let's get started with challenge number 1, valuation. Welcome to the show and welcome to all of our contestants and of course to our resident antiques expert and auctioneer who's never frightened of bringing down the hammer, Rachel Houston Holland. Laid out on the table we have a gloriously varied collection of antiques and collectibles. Our teams have a very simple task. Pick the one they think is worth the most and the highest value wins the challenge. Go and have a look. Off you pop. All the values in today's show are based on current retail prices. What have we got today, Rachel?
We've got that sort of Regent Empire Spirit glass box.
Clearly from a garage sale.
Clearly from a garage sale. We've got a little box there with what appears to be silver in it. A pair of urns, a football, a bit of jewellery and the menu.
Oh, a nice copper tray.
A copper tray as well.
Our teams need to pick the item that has the highest value from a signed menu, a leather football, a shiny copper tray, a pair of urns, a set of silver-looking implements, a glass petrol advertising globe, and a sparkly brooch. So tell them, Rachel, what are the sort of values?
Well, we've got items on that table worth a 4-figure sum. And the dud, today, it's worth £30.
£30. Sometimes people home in on the dud like homing pigeons, you know, they come back with it treasured. Right. Now, to decide the order of play before the show, we asked our teams to value this 1970s Polaroid camera. Ray and Ken, you said it was worth £30. James and Teresa, you said it's worth £250. Michelin and Kenneth, you said £230. Who is the nearest? Well, I can tell you. Ray and Ken, it's worth just 50 quid. That means you win. And it also means you'll go first. So, married couple, do you have the same tastes?
I'm into sort of French glass Lalique. I collect that, so...
That's a fairly mod. I collect Lalique. That's like saying I collect diamonds. Right. What's the attraction of Lalique?
I'm into sort of Art Deco, and I like the angular and the finish of Lalique glass. I just think it...
The style of it as well.
Yeah.
And you can get some older pieces, because obviously there's a lot of new pieces as well. I'm more into little cars. So into the dinky toys, and that comes from when I was a child, and my father used to buy me a dinky car every month or so.
I love this, Lalique glass and dinky toys. Human life is well. So off you go.
Ken likes this, but I think this, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced about the clasp.
I'm going to say that.
Are you sure?
Yeah. No.
No, okay.
We're going to go for this.
Okay, well, we're going to go with this one.
Okay, bring it back up here.
A lot of these pieces were actually made from tiaras and things like that, and then later on they were actually made into smaller pieces. I'm hoping it's diamonds and platinum.
Okay,
Right.
so I've gone with him.
Well, it needs to be worth 4 figures, okay, for you to have done well. Start the counter.
Well done.
You've got the eye.
What a great start. You two are to watch today, I think. I was really fascinated to hear about you picking up on the class. Because in fact, this looks Art Deco, doesn't it? And in fact, we think it's probably been produced in the 50s or 60s, hence the later glass. It's platinum, which you picked up on, and diamonds as well. Beautiful thing.
These are going to be 2 to watch. I don't want to frighten you, especially you, Michelin and Kenneth, because it's your go next. Michelin, have you got any specialisation?
Yes, I've got a modest collection of Goss crested china.
Well, that's the little white stuff with the sort of often got
Heraldry.
badges of places or coats of
Yes.
arms.
I'm glad to say it's in a cabinet behind glass, so there's no dusting problem.
Kenneth, what about you? Do you admire the Goss, or is it not your bag at all?
Well, it's not quite my line, but my particular one is the car which I built, a Morris Minor Traveller.
Have you got new wood on it?
Oh yes, I built it for what one might say is modern day motoring. So it's got a larger engine, decent brakes, decent lights, decent seats.
What we would actually call cheating. Go and have a look. The score to beat is £1,980.
That's a possibility.
I couldn't find any marks.
No.
What about this?
So I think we'll go with the Globe.
As you're a motor enthusiast, I'll trust you with it. Why do you think that's worth 1,000 or more?
They tend to get broken, and when garages were demolished and the new pumps came in, they were just essentially chucked away.
Absolutely, that's the point. It's in very good condition.
Right. Let's see what it's worth. You need to beat £1,980. Come on, come on. Looking good. You know, I thought to myself, well, that's it, there's nothing else there. And you picked that up and I thought, oh, bless him, he loves motoring, you know, he's going for that. Good man, Kenneth. Well done, your start.
You've picked the top item, so well done. It's very rare, the fact that it's sort of a pre-60s one. It's still in fantastic condition. I mean, look at the colour of it. It's absolutely amazing. Well done.
Now, James, you're in entertaining.
Yeah, I've been in the entertainment industry for 12 years. Started off as a red coat at Butlins, then at Pontins and John Fowler's.
You've run the gamut.
And from then I was in pantomimes where I was a dame, which I absolutely love. I was born to entertain.
We'll rely on you today. We'll be the judge of that. Do you collect anything?
Yes, I like to collect theatre memorabilia, and I've got a wide range from all the musicals that I've been to
Oh,
see.
wonderful. Teresa, what about you? What do you collect?
I go around car boots and just tinker about and bring things back.
Looking for things that might fetch more later or things that you like?
Well, things that I like as well, so a bit of both. I've got to like it to want it.
Well, let's see if you can like it and want it. See what you can find
on,
out
then.
that you think isn't the dud. It would be nice to avoid that.
Right, this one caught my eye straight away because of the marking, and it looks like real silver. So we're going to go with this one. Are you sure?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, we know you're not going to beat 4,000 miles. You could still beat 1,980. So what have you chosen?
Some kind of toolkit that's got an amazing mark on it, and it actually looks like real silver.
Are you with him on that, Teresa, or have you been, sort of bullied into it?
I can't actually read the markings very well, so I can't say if it's sterling silver or plate.
Good choice.
Silver plate.
How good are you on your silver marks?
Not brill.
Okay, we'll see.
Well, the counter will tell us whether you can pip Ray and Ken into third place. This is what those objects are worth.
That's a clever done!
You got the dot. Rachel.
Oh, it is difficult when you haven't got an eyeglass or anything to look at it. It is really difficult. They're actually electroplated silver marks, so then it's not silver. And it's a push and spoon set, so it's a christening set.
Ah.
So in third place with £30, it's James and Teresa. Susie laughed nervously. In second place with 1,980, it is a bit of a quantum leap, I agree. It's Ray and Ken, but winning the round with £4,000, Michelin and Kenneth. Well done, you. And that means that Michelin and Kenneth win first choice in the Masterpiece Gallery. All of you, follow me. The values of the rest are a mid-20th century leather football, £110. A Keswick School copper tray from 1910, £480. A pair of Ormolu porcelain mantle vases, £580. And a hotel menu signed by boxing legend Rocky Marciano is worth a knockout £750. That's a strong win for Michelin and Kenneth, so they'll be first through the door of the Masterpiece Gallery. This is the Masterpiece Gallery, where the show will be won or lost. Our teams will visit it after each challenge, where 3 objects will be on display. 2 decoys to put them off the scent, and 1 special object worth £10,000 or more, the masterpiece. And the team that finds most masterpieces wins the show. But what makes something that valuable? Before the teams come in, Rachel will give me a sneaky preview and tell me what they should be looking for. The first 3 items are a framed pair of gloves, a glass vase, and a little shiny elephant. What would make this of great value?
Well, is it solid silver? It looks to be silver, doesn't it?
To me, it looks wonderful quality, and it's got quite a bit of weight.
Who's the maker? That's what really, really does affect the value of this piece.
Does the fact that it's Indian make a difference? Because it's obviously Indian.
Well, is it Indian?
Well, the elephant's got small ears, and it looks as if it's Indian. The headdress is Indian. I'm not valuing it. Now then, a vase.
Yeah, a piece of cameo glass.
Which is signed Gallet.
Gallet.
Gallet, yes.
Could that be a collectible maker? And also, you know, what really affects the value of art glass is the patterns on the front.
Mm-hmm.
And a pair of gloves.
With VR on, and the crown, well.
Do you think they're going to know who VR is?
If they don't deserve to win the Masterpiece Gallery, do they? So let's see if they do. Time for our teams to have a look at them. First through the door, it's Kenneth and Michelin who can choose from all 3. But will they work out which is the masterpiece?
It's quite heavy. Some markings underneath.
I don't think it's silver. It's not heavy enough, I don't think, for that.
You do?
This could be more interesting.
Overlay glass. Any marks? Ah,
Signature of some sort?
yes.
Okay.
Do you know who Gallet is?
Vaguely. Lalique is a well-known glass maker.
Good make?
Yes.
Queen Victoria's, perhaps?
Yeah, could well be. What do you think? Go with your reaction.
I got a feeling the vase.
Okay, I'm not sure. It's either that or that. But we'll go with the glass because I love glass.
Okay.
Ken and Ray, would you go with the glass? Mr. Lalique?
Yeah.
Well,
Hey ho.
pop down the end.
Ivory.
Is there ivory?
Yeah, that obviously does something as well. It's probably from the days of the Raj.
There's some markings under there. Look. Under there.
Who's got the best eyesight?
In with glasses.
Not that I can see what's actually written under there.
So if they were wedding gloves, that would really be worth a lot of money.
Okay. Out of the 2 pieces that are left, I definitely think we should go with this.
Okay.
Okay, James and Teresa, pop down the end to the little silver elephant. Are you pleased?
I think good things come in small packages.
And that's one of them, you hope.
I do hope it is, yes.
Okay. These objects go into their collections. We'll come back to the Masterpiece Gallery after every challenge. So at the end of today's show, our teams will have 3 objects each, and only then will we find out which are the masterpieces, and therefore who's won the show. Still to come, more challenges, including the fiendish Stately Home Challenge, which takes place in one of Britain's finest stately homes. See you after the break.
Mr. Kipling sponsors exceedingly good everyday favourites.
Thank you.
Hello, Ulster.
I'll need a hotel for tonight, a nice one.
No problem, sir.
Thanks. Your hotel's booked and your car's all clean.
Thank you, Chris.
This is not a car. This is confidence. This is new insignia.
The US government is planning to attack the Soviet Union.
Nothing scares those two.
Everything scares those two.
You have to be willing to do anything to protect yourself.
One day.
Critically acclaimed drama The Americans starts tonight at 10 on ITV Encore.
No. What?
Mr. Kipling sponsors exceedingly good everyday favourites.
Welcome back to Masterpiece. Our teams now face challenge number 2, Bamboozle. Laid out in front of us are objects and devices that might have been relatively common way back when, but whose purpose has been forgotten with the passing of the years. Our teams will choose the most obscure object they can for one of the other teams to identify. If they get it right, they'll get a point. If they're wrong, the point goes to the team that managed to bamboozle them. James and Teresa, as you were third in valuation, or as we like to call it, bottom, please pick the most obscure item you can for Ray and Ken to identify.
That looks kind of some kind of walking stick, simple. This one, or this one.
Yeah.
Pop it on their podium.
Right.
Yes, we'll pick
This
that,
one.
yeah.
Okay.
Sure?
Yes.
Okay, we're going with that one.
Right.
Look, there's a gauge there.
Any thoughts at all? Apart from
Bus tickets?
Bus tickets.
And actually it's got 1 to 6 on the back, so you might want, say, 6 tickets or something and do this.
It's one of these 3 things. No mention of a bus anywhere. A piano tuner, a rope pulley, or a body massager.
I reckon that's one of the old original shiatsu machines over your back. And
Are you feeling the benefit there, Ray?
Well, actually, you could try that again, Ken. I might. Do you think so?
yeah, I reckon it is.
It is a body massager, they say. Rachel, would you like to go and tell them they're right or tell them they're wrong?
You are right.
Oh,
Very good. Yes. So, you're exactly right. That's what it is, a body massager. You would massage someone's skin by rolling it along like that.
Can you put it on number 6?
Right, well done, you get a point. So, Ray and Ken, please pick the most obscure object for Michelin and Kenneth to identify. What do you think they'll have trouble with?
Okay.
Or that? Oh, what do you think?
Well,
On the face of it, a walking stick.
But what about this end?
Oh, well, that's...
Not sharp.
Shall I give you 3 things it could be? It's one of these. It's either a railway carriage opener, a seed dibber, or a Bowles green marker.
A Bowles green marker. For marking what on the Bowles green, I don't know, so we'll go for a carriage opener.
It's too ornate to have dug in the soil.
Rachel, is it a railway carriage opener?
That's exactly right. That is a railway carriage opener. The conductor would walk along, that would go inside the lock, turn and open, and he could do it fairly quickly.
Well done you get a point, congratulations. And finally, Micheline and Kenneth, please pick what you think will bamboozle James and Teresa. What are you going for?
This one?
Okay, that's fine.
Right. Pop it on the podium. James and Teresa, what do you think it could be?
Okay, I have a feeling it's some kind of something for tobacco. That's what I think.
You could be right there, yeah.
Well, it's either a toilet freshener, a garlic press, or a surgeon's needle steriliser?
A garlic press.
I would say so too.
I would say we're going for garlic press.
Well, you desperately need the points here. You
Yes,
need
we
this
do.
to be a garlic
We do.
press,
We do.
don't you?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Rachel, please go and tell them whether they're happy or sad.
You needed that point, didn't you? Fortunately, you haven't got it. You are wrong.
Oh, you're joking.
It is a toilet freshener. You put your soap in here, close that up. This would hang around the toilet, and then as it flushed, it would sort of clean the bottom.
But you didn't get it right. So, in lieu of a point, never mind. We'll give you a round of applause and say apologies. In lieu of a point, did you get it? No, right, fine. Well done, Michelin and Kenneth. You caught them out, so you get their point, and that means James and Teresa, no points, I'm afraid. Ray and Ken, you get 1 point. Michelin and Kenneth, 2 points to you. That means you won yet another round, and it also means that you get first pick in the Masterpiece Gallery. Everybody, follow me. And the other objects are a home exercise machine, and if you remember football pools, that little device is for randomising your result predictions. 2 challenges down, 2 challenges won for Kenneth and Michelin, so they'll enter the Masterpiece Gallery first again. What makes something worth £10,000? Before they come in, just for you and me, here are some tips from Rachel. This time we have some stamps, a large stone carving, and a watercolour painting. A beautiful picture.
The artist is the main key thing here. Now, do they know who this artist is? It's written here and here.
So she signed it, Mary L. Gow, but it's just got sort of an ethereal quality.
You know, what period is it from? You know, modern art as opposed to 19th century art, there can be so many differences there.
It says 99, and I doubt it's 1999. And completely different and really hunky and chunky.
Well, it looks very old, doesn't it?
It's got relief on 3 sides.
Yeah, which is very interesting. The quality is fantastic. Where does it come from? Does that affect the value?
2 stamps, which are obviously relatively modern.
Now, what affects the value? Rarity. Did they go into publication? Was there any changes to them?
Are there mistakes on them? Are they withdrawn? All that kind of thing.
Exactly, that directly responds to the value of them.
What will our team spot? Will Michelin and Kenneth find the masterpiece? They must choose from the stamps, the stone carving, and the watercolour painting.
His Lordship and the Baby. Mary L. Gow. No, I don't know anything about paintings.
His Lordship, I wonder.
Oh, 1999. Don't know.
Probably 1899.
Oh.
That looks as though it's fallen off Bath Cathedral or something.
Yes. Yeah. It's not a gargle. They're ugly looking
No,
things.
it's 1, 2, 3 sides.
Okay. Right.
A pair of stamps.
You've got their perforations, so it's not that. Well, one says 37 and one says 30. It could be a misprint.
So the stamp or the picture.
Stamps.
Do you agree, Kenneth?
Yes, I'm happy with this one.
Okay. Ray and Ken, go and look at the other 2.
Oh, that's pretty.
Isn't that Swiss marking, isn't it?
Gal.
Look at this one. It's obviously something. They're different crafts, aren't they? Because this is a blacksmith here.
Yeah, this is a monk.
Would that have been on a church or
a
something?
font or. I reckon the picture.
Okay. On behalf of the farming and gardening community, I would point out that man's gathering wheat. He's not a blacksmith. And that's not helping you out, James and Teresa, because you've got to have it anyway.
Once again, I think this is one that was there to trick you, and you wouldn't think it was the masterpiece, but I think it's worth its weight in gold.
Right. Do you know, the thing I like about James is even when they've got to have what's last, he finds a way to like it.
He's easily pleased,
He
isn't he?
is. We shall find out whether he's right to be easily pleased a little bit later. Remember, it's not about who wins the challenges, but how many masterpieces our teams collect by the end of the show. Coming up, we're all off to the New Forest, where our teams face a real test of knowledge in the Stately Home Challenge. See you after the break.
sponsors exceedingly good everyday favourites.
TSB believes that the more you put into a partnership, the more you should get back. That's why their famous Plus account now gives you £5 cash back every month, just for regularly spending with your debit card. Plus, £5 cash back every month just for having 2 direct debits. Plus, 3% interest on balances up to £1,500, which isn't just a teaser rate that gets taken away after a year. So why not join TSB? No bank gives you more with no monthly fee.
Miss Banville, I know you're not afraid of difficult cases.
I'm going to get you out, Kevin. There is someone they are desperate to hide. There's something else going on here.
New drama, Fearless, starts tonight at 9 on ITV.
Mr. Kipling sponsors exceedingly good everyday favourites.
Welcome back to Masterpiece, where our teams are put to the test for the final time today in the Stately Home Challenge. Not just a challenge, but an absolute treat, as we get the chance to rummage around the collections of Britain's finest country houses. And for today's treasure hunt, we all headed off to an absolute beauty, right at the edge of the New Forest. Today's stately home is Palace House, Bewley. It's home to the Montague family, and first opened its doors to the public in 1952. But with so many great houses across the country doing the same, finding a way to stand out from the crowd would make all the difference to the estate's survival. And the current Lord Montague's father had an inspired idea which saw Bewley race ahead of the pack. As a tribute to his father, one of Britain's motoring pioneers, he displayed a handful of cars in the entrance hall. And this is that entrance hall. It's not large, but there were 3 cars along this wall. You don't believe me? Here you are. I'm standing right where Lord Montague is standing in the picture. The house must have reeked of engine oil, but the idea was so successful, they carried on, enlarged it, and it became the National Motor Museum. Today, the museum boasts 250 different vehicles, from the earliest motor carriages to modern supercars. If I were allowed to drive one car in this collection, well, I wouldn't mind it being this one. This is a 1925 Phantom 1, bought by the second Lord Montague from the motor show for the princely sum of £1,850 in 1925. But nowadays, this masterpiece would probably set you back about £500,000. I'd like to slip into the driving seat, but I see that's already occupied by Rachel, who is holding the Spirit of Ecstasy. Now, she's got a connection to Bewley as well, hasn't she?
She has. This one is actually modelled after Lord Montague's secretary. Now, it's thought that Lord Montague and his secretary were having an affair at the time.
Ooh.
Now, on Lord Montague's car, she's doing a slightly different pose.
She's got a finger on her lips. Why?
Well, was she referring to the affair or just the engine noise of the Rolls Royce?
Shh, your secret's safe with me, my lord. What else will our teams uncover on their treasure hunt through the eclectic collection of this beautiful house? They're tasked with finding 2 specific items which they must photograph, and the team with the most correct answers in the quickest time wins. So what's first?
Right, item 1.
A Puto. Bureau? Pato? Bureau? No.
Puto, a Puto is what you sit on.
Fire screen.
Fire screens? No.
This is really testing their antique terminology here.
Do you think it's like a toilet?
Isn't it just?
A putto is developed from the Latin word puttus.
Pete, what does it sound like? What sort of language?
Italian?
So if we've got any Latin speakers, there's certainly going to be an advantage here. I think it's a cherub or something childish.
Oh, it's a cherub, isn't it?
A sort of cherub, but a sort of winged child.
I'm sure it's something that you would sit on.
These don't sit on a winged child.
Bedpan?
I wouldn't sit on one of those either.
This type of depiction has been used since the 14th century on furniture, ceramics, clocks.
So there's plenty to choose from then.
I think this is going to be really easy for them.
We're in trouble.
Or not.
Take a picture of the chair.
Which chair do you think? This
No,
one?
take a picture of that one then.
James and Teresa think a putto is a piano stool.
Tell you what, take one of that, because that's...
We're going to have to decide
yeah, I
what
know,
it is,
but it's
though.
like a... That's what... just a whatnot, isn't it? What they used to call a whatnot.
If it's a whatnot, it's not a putto, is it?
Oh, that's your cherub thing.
That's a cherub. Take a picture of that. It didn't say anything about it being a pair.
There's a pair of them, so if we do it that way.
That looks promising.
Right, on to the next one.
So what is next?
Item 2, an example of neo-Gothic revival furniture. Ooh.
They're really going to have to know the furniture styles here, aren't they?
Yes, it was a movement developed in the early part of the 19th century, and then subsequently after that as well.
Neo is new.
But it's very much harking back to that medieval look.
Gothic is like this.
Neo-Gothic.
So you're looking for something that looks church-like.
Pointed arches are a definite giveaway then.
Exactly. It's going to be heavily carved.
See that?
That's very
really
dark, isn't it?
Very dark and...
Well, it's not pointy, is it?
What about that? Are you
No,
sure?
no, Gothic, it has a Gothic feel about it.
Well, I think that did have.
Mum and son can't agree.
We've got to hurry up.
I've got a feeling it could be that, you know.
If you want to, yeah.
Right, let's go with that.
Is that James and Teresa finished?
Finished?
Yes.
Well, that is church-like. Take a picture of this.
Micheline and Kenneth go for the chairs too. They're second fastest.
Go on, take that one as well.
Slowest to finish, Ray and Ken.
Got for anything old and black. Happy with that, though?
No, but there we go.
So, farewell, Bewley. And back to Masterpiece HQ for the results. Wow, did you enjoy the New Forest?
Yes, it was lovely.
Right, special place, Bewley. Time to find out how you all got on. The first thing we asked you to find was a putto. Now then, do you know what a putto is? James and Teresa, you were fastest round the house. What did you choose?
Well, me and my mum thought a puto was something you would sit on, because a puto is something you would, like, maybe sit on.
It sounds like it, so I...
So, putto yourself on there, that kind of thing. And sit-o down there.
That's right.
Yeah. Go and show us what your putto is. What you're puttoing your money on. Oh.
This is what we went with.
Yes, that's what we call a piano stool. Right, okay. Micheline and Kenneth. I wonder if you think that's a putto as well.
I think it's a cherub. So that was the best I could
So
find.
one on each end of the mantle there.
Interesting.
Interesting, very interesting, yeah.
Now then,